Hey you, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tina and my aim is to improve your drawings just like others have done for me when I just started out. Now the video I want to share with you this week will not be a tutorial, nor will it be a review of some kind. This week I want to take you on my 5th try with watercolors. Any of you that have followed me on here for some time will know that watercolor has always been my nemesis. I love the things you can create with it, but for some reason I never managed to get the results I wanted to, or even get close to these results. So this week, you will either see me get really frustrated with them again, or see me finding my way to work with them on a more lovable relationship than I have been with them in the past. So stay tuned for the end to see which one of the two it turned out to be. Anyway, I won't be narrating what I'm doing this week, I'll just make this an entertainment sort of video with a lot of storytelling about my previous attempts with watercolor, in which I will try to get the feeling across when I attempted it before. So bear with me on this one. So, my wife and I went to a local art store to get some watercolors. I did have some before, but I figured let me buy some more expensive ones and I will feel more pressured to get to a point where I like to use them, or at least that's what the thought behind the trip to the art store was. I wanted to make myself feel some pressure to finding my way around with them. So as I said, I wanted to get some more expensive ones. So when I saw a metal box with 12 Daniel Smith watercolors in it, I thought they would be perfect. These have a very good reputation amongst watercolor artists and they are not cheap, so a win-win in my case this time. But of course it comes in a tray to fit 24 of these half pens, so I had 12 empty pens. And for the ones amongst you that already know me a little, that's just something I couldn't have. And as I was in the art shop already, makes sense to buy some to fill these empty pens, right? So that's exactly what I did. I did go for some cheaper ones, although still professional quality, so not too cheap, to still get the pressure up. I bought Schminke watercolor tubes to fill up the pens, but only 7, so I would still have some empty pens left. Because, well, the price went up very steep when I added colors to my shopping basket, so I did my best to contain myself. And having 5 empty pans left was as far as I could take it. However, when we went to the register, the shop manager asked me if I wanted 2 extra colors that she couldn't sell anymore because there was something wrong with the tubes. One was damaged and another one had paint on the top that ran out. So luckily for me, I went home with 2 extra colors, so only 3 empty pens left. Woohoo! Now I won't go over the colors I got too much. If you would like to know, I showed them at the beginning of this video, so feel free to pause the video at that point to have a look. Suffice to say that I picked colors of which I know that I use them a lot in animal drawings or paintings because of my experience with both pastels and acrylic paints. As soon as I got home, I wanted to start right away. New art supplies will do that to you, as you all will definitely know. So I went through my reference pictures and saw this killer whale one that I downloaded from Pexels a long time ago. Killer whales are amongst my favorite animals, by the way. I even cried when I saw one in real life for the first time. No lie. So this picture got me fired up even more to get on with it. I didn't think about this for too long, however, because restarting my relationship with watercolors might not have been the best idea when painting water or clouds. But as I didn't think about that until I got busy, I was too late and just had to go with it. I took a piece of cold-pressed watercolor paper and just sketched out very quickly what was going to be my new test subject. Hopefully with a happy ending this time. After I quickly sketched out the main shapes and forms, which weren't much to be honest, I started working on the clouds and the sky. That's when the first frustrations got into my head. I did my best to be more patient this time than the 4 previous times with these, but it turns out that I'm not patient enough yet to let things dry before going over it again with another color. So note to my future self, have more patience and use a hairdryer. Which I did use, by the way. That helps me get the patience to a reasonable level when I can speed up the process a little. That has always been the main issue, by the way. I am not used to working with wet media that take a long time to dry. Sure, I have experience with acrylics, but acrylics dry super quickly compared to watercolor if you ask me. But this time I forced myself to try harder than I did before, mainly because of the investment I made, of course. When I was too frustrated with the sky, I put my focus somewhere else, the water. And I just let that sky be for the moment. The water, however, didn't feel much better in terms of frustration. Did I tell you that I get really frustrated with myself when I can't seem to get something right yet? Especially when I know that I can make it look right with another medium. But of course, that has to do with practice, which I simply don't have with watercolor. My frustrated brain doesn't realize that, however, and just gets more frustrated by the minute. So what I did was take a step back and do something else for a couple of minutes. In this case, I ate dinner and played with our dogs for some time. So when I got back behind the painting, I had a more calm feeling and the frustration was almost completely gone. That helped me in a big way because after that I started to have fun with it. I adopted a je m'en fous mentality, which is French for I don't care. Because well, I didn't care what came out of it. I was just going to have fun with it and try my best to enjoy the process of playing around with a medium that I'm not too familiar with yet. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? The worst case scenario would be that I wasted 2 hours of my life, but had fun along the way, so it's not really wasted if you look at it that way. The only thing that would be wasted was the paint and the paper. I started having fun with the different blue colors that I got for the painting and painted the sea and the waves, creating depth, or at least trying to, and just making it look a little pleasing to the eye, for me that is. I am sure that watercolor artists will look at the finished painting or the techniques I use here and cringe, but hey, as I always say, we were all beginners once. When I was pretty satisfied with the water and the waves, I started working on the killer whale itself, our main subject. And let me tell you, that is when the real fun started. I can't tell you whether it was because of the subject or the possibility that I found my way around watercolors a little bit, but I really love the process of the killer whale. I love the fact that you can layer the shadows so easily and adjust them with every layer as you go. So the thing I started to love was the fact that layering is so important, because before I always wanted to get the right color in the right place immediately, whereas here I started to realize that it's much better to build them up. The thing I needed to adjust to the most is working from light to dark, whereas with both pastel and acrylics you work from dark to light. Now, once I got that in my mind clearly, it clicked somehow. Needless to say, I absolutely enjoyed painting the killer whale. And as you can see by now, this was the end result. Let me know in the comments below if you like the painting or if you have some tips for me. I would be very happy to read them in the comments. All help is welcome, especially if it helps me get better with these quicker, saving me a lot of frustration in the process. What comes next is a clip that I recorded the very evening or night that I finished the painting, so you can see my honest opinion about the painting and the watercolor journey. Right after this little piece of peel porn that is. Enjoy! Hi guys, it's me. So I just finished the 5th try of watercolor, and the first 4 times I was really frustrated to the point that I wanted to throw them out or do a giveaway, but I didn't, so I tried again. And because I bought some more expensive supplies this time, I think that I tried harder than the previous times, because well, now I really want to succeed, because I don't want to throw these away or not use them because they were quite expensive. Now, after all, I think I did a fairly good job, so I'm pretty happy with the result. There's a lot of room for improvement, but there always is. So next time I'll just try better and maybe have more patience, more layers. I don't know yet, but we'll see what happens. So this is the finished result. I hope you can see it very well. If you look at it from a distance, I'm really happy with it. If you look at it up close, like the sky and the water, I'm not that happy. But the killer whale itself, I like very much. So that's a big win for me this time on watercolors. So if you want to see more of these videos and maybe even watercolor tutorials in the future, who knows if I might get that good in it, then leave a comment in the comment section below. And I hope to see you again next week. In the meantime, have a great week.